very rare. It affects the cartilage and the bone. The reason I found out this was by accident. I'd been working a lot, was really ill, but no, it sounds awful, but I didn't feel like I was ill enough to have cancer. I had a swelling on my right thigh. We'd been on holiday, my other half Barry there, been on holiday, and it was really apparent. He kept asking me to go to the doctor. I said my mum, my sister. I just thought, I'd always been told my bone hurting was normal. And then I went to the doctor because I had an ulcer in my eye. And one of my dogs, we've got two staffs, Chaz and Dave. Dave kept, I didn't name them, he did, he's going to take full credit for that. Dave kept digging at my leg and crying, and I made a joke one night, which is in bad taste, was, oh, we've got an infection in my leg or it's cancer. My other half then took it quite seriously and said, you know, you need to get to the doctors. So I went with this ulcer in my eye, and the doctor said, are you in extreme pain? I said, well, I'm not going to lie, for the last few months I've been sleeping with my leg up in the air on the sofa because my hip's hurting so much. And he said, well, why do you think your hip's hurting? And I went, well, I've got a bit of a lump here. He literally, I've known this doctor my whole life, stood back and went, oh, you need to go to hospital. And I said, why, what do you think it is? And he said, well, sarcoma, it's a rare cancer. He said, that's the only explanation that I can think of. I walked out in a bit of a daze, didn't take it seriously. He then called my mum and said, take it seriously, anything changes, you need to get her to A&E. Next day I went to work, day after, went to work, worked in a pet shop, up and down ladders, got home, my other half bribed me and said if I called 111 and they said I didn't have to go to hospital, fine. If they said I had to go to hospital, then he'd buy me a harvester on the way out. Just so you know, that never happened.
Kept in overnight.
I went into A&E and I was laughed at by a triage. Unfortunately, it was Basildon Hospital. They suspected a blood clot, and they said, they did my stats, and they said, something's going on here. They got a senior nurse through, X-ray, ultrasound come round, and they were like, you need to stay in for the weekend to have an MRI. So I just laughed it off and said, they said, you've got these bone spurs all over your legs. And I was like, yeah, it's normal. I've been told my whole life that that's a normal thing. Well, no, it's not. It's actually a rare bone disease, and it can lead to cancer. They thought I had a soft tissue sarcoma. I found out later that 30 senior doctors, surgeons, orthopaedic experts, etc., had looked at my scan photos and said I had a hematoma, which is basically a big blood pool in my leg. One doctor had recognised that there was something going on because of the sarcoma being mentioned, had basically suspected that, so I got referred to Stanmore. They convinced me and bribed me to stay in hospital, so I had the scan on Sunday. I had a nurse come round on the Monday, sit me down, someone I'd never met, with a doctor, and said, you've got cancer. So I, being quite sort of gallows humour, went, how long have I got? She told me I couldn't ask that, which really put my back up. And I was like, look, what type of cancer have I got? I didn't even know you could get cancer in your leg. You know, what's going on? I need to, oh, we don't know, it's a rare cancer. We're not sure, you're referred. A couple of weeks later, they sent me home because I kept moaning, I'm not going to lie. They sent me home, I got a referral to go to Stanmore, had a biopsy. They took about 15 sites for biopsy. We were then called in on my other half's birthday, and we sat there, and the experts in bone cancer sat there and said, well, it's barely cancer, it's grey area, it's mainly benign, there's a little bit of grade 1, so we have to get it out. I asked what chondrosarcoma was. They explained it wasn't a soft tissue sarcoma, it was actually bone cancer. They then gave me a printout from Wikipedia that explained what chondrosarcoma was. And it basically said, normally slow growing, affects only people, mainly males over the age of 50. Chemo and radio are resistant, good survival rate, as long as it's low grade. You go to intermediate or high grade, it basically said it's dismal, were the words. So I called Macmillan, did all the right things, was a bit shell-shocked. Macmillan had never heard of it. They said they've heard of sarcoma. One night I woke up in the middle of the night and said to my other half, I know where I've heard sarcoma. That film of Fault in Our Stars. The guy has osteosarcoma, which isn't my type. And I went, oh my God, that's it. That's what he dies of. And that was basically it. It's either horror stories or it wasn't serious and you get over it. but I couldn't find any info on chondrosarcoma. 80s, 1980s was the last research I could find. So anyway, I went forward to Stanmore, belly cancer. We're going to get out in one go, wasn't given any other option. When it came out, we found it was 20 centimetre tumour in my thigh. It was attached from one of these bone spurs from my bone disease, and it was grade 2 as well. So then I was told, actually, this is really likely to spread to your lungs. I found out, the surgeon came around and sat on my bed afterwards and told me, actually, the tumour split in surgery. Because I had 2 scars. I've got one from my hip down here, and I've got a little one here. And he said, actually, it's split apart. There's nothing we could do. So I said, what do you mean? He went, well, we dropped it in your leg. Now, these are experts, and I'm not slating them for that. But again, it was, don't worry, it's fine. We got it all. We got clear margins, which is the little margin of tissue around it that's normal. I met someone through a chondrosarcoma support group on Facebook. He's a little bit cynical, I will say, and he is amazing. I believe he saved my life. He told me to push for answers, that wasn't good enough. Asked for my pathology report, which I got, and I found there was an exposed margin on my hip. I was told that doesn't matter, it's not going to do anything. We told you it's probably going to come back. They hadn't. And I was just told to basically get on with it. I went back to see my very, very charismatic surgeon. I went back and he was a different person. He literally, get up and walk properly. What's wrong with you? Because I started questioning him, because I started to do research. I'd by then got in touch with the Bone Cancer Research Trust. And I said, what do I ask these people? I trust them. They were brilliant. They asked me to share my story with them, which I did. And then all the scientists there were literally getting my letters and putting them in layman's terms for me, because I didn't understand it. I then went and questioned him, he backed right off, he then left. So then I found out, I got my medical history, I found out they dropped the tumour and there wasn't clear margins. After that, I never had a clear scan after that. I was told there wasn't one, but didn't need scans after, you know. It was only a little bit grade 2, don't worry. I had recurrence, so it come back. We found out in about, well, I suspected it in August, wasn't it, Mum?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I found out officially in December. So I ring for my results. I'm one of them people. You get my results, I want to know then. We can't tell you over the phone. You can. So again, phone call to Bcrt. Can they tell me on the phone? Yes, as long as they don't think you're going to go and kill yourself or something. So I kept pushing, started getting answers. So it come back, it was in 2 places. One was in my hip, exactly where the margin was exposed, and that was the bigger tumour. And there was another one lower down on my femur, where they got a microscopic margin, which is less than a millimetre. There's no legal guideline for chondrosarcoma. So any other cancer will have a centimetre to. My type, no. Radiotherapy can make it worse. Sometimes it can make it better. They really don't know, and there's no UK treatment if it goes to your lungs. Obviously, on top of this, the mental strain. You can't talk to anyone. You're not having chemo. You don't look like you've got cancer. You know, and I love that, but at the same time, it seems like it's not a serious one, and a lot of medical staff are not trained. They say that with a medical staff, you may meet one person in your career that's got bone cancer. Now, bearing in mind, mine is one of a lot of. Bone cancer is actually around 15%. Is that the right thing of childhood cancers? It's around that roughly. There's children with, Ewing sarcoma, osteosarcoma. You've probably seen in the press. Was it Lewis Hamilton visited that young guy?
Yeah, Harry.
Yeah, Harry Shaw. Yeah, there's a lot of children dying, and we're all linked in by Bcrt. And the emotional support to my mum. My mum, obviously, broke with it. Jill, one of the trustees, has been amazing. We went to the conference last year, met all these people. She texts my mum, make sure I'm okay. I get a million messages. I've got a follow-up next Thursday. I'm waiting for them to all start piling in. They stay in touch. I spoke to them, all of them. Emily, I know she's not there anymore. Liam, Matt, that literally 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm up on Facebook. They're like, "Are you all right?" Any medical letters I get, I don't understand. I'm not happy with the camera anymore. They'll find me someone else and find me a contact. They're helping all the other people that I'm now an admin of the Facebook group for chondrosarcoma. Advice anytime. And I'm not going to lie, it sounds really I don't know how people view this, but I was on a real low. There's no information. With me, I feel in control and I know what's happening. No information, there's no cure, there's no, you're either going to be all right or you're not, and it's going to be awful. I was in a bad place, and BCRT have literally changed my life. So I just want to thank everyone here for supporting this. I'm not sure how many of you know someone with primary brain cancer. Do you know what? It's probably not many. Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. Even, you know, no one really knows. I didn't know. I laughed. I mean, you can't get cancer in your leg. But obviously my type is one type that, you know, osteosarcoma really affecting children. And it's not as uncommon as you think. Since these groups, I've found so many people. There's a few here in Essex with different types of sarcoma. You know, I deal with mothers that have lost their child, like we're in a band for Liberty's Legacy. Liberty died a few days after her 14th birthday to Ewing sarcoma. The treatment that they get is adult chemotherapy and radiotherapy. And BCRT are striving to find kinder treatments. And in my case, there's no blood markers. They're working to get a blood marker for my type to help with the grade. Because if that's missed, and it's so easy, it wasn't that the hospital made a mistake. 15 sites showed low grade or benign, but it wasn't. There's no real knowledge, and that's a shame. So I'm really, really pleased and honoured to be welcomed. I was told I'm part of the family as soon as I met them, and I genuinely feel, and I just want to thank Terry, Sarah, everyone that's doing this, and all of you for coming tonight, because I feel like you've saved my life and my mental health. So thank you so much. Enjoy it.